Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fish Tank. Great to have you here. Hope this video finds you well and a happy 2024. Now, let's talk about Minion Masters. Today I want to talk about Minion Masters 2.0, the past, the present, and the future. Now, if you've been following along with my videos or just with Minion Masters in general, you know that the 2.0 launch has been rough, to say the least. I am one of the biggest supporters of the game, and BetaDwarf, and even I have been very disappointed with the state of the game so far. We know there's been a lot of problems, but let's talk about what happened. So 2.0 was launched on the 12th of December, and it was bad. There were a lot of problems. We know so much stuff was changed, but before people could even get into the game to kind of feel how they felt about the changes, there were so many issues with connections, with crashes and stuff like that, that it got off to a really bad start. So on the 14th of December, 2 days later, we had Hotfix 1, which was really just critical fixes, getting people access to the game, fixing things that were just stopping people from accessing the game. And of course, we're talking about PC and we're talking about Xbox. Mobile is still something that's coming in the future. The last time we had a date was the end of Q1, or just Q1 2024. We won't really talk about mobile, we'll just talk about where we are with the existing platforms at the moment. Right, so Hotfix 1 was on the 14th of December, then we had Hotfix 2 a week later. So the devs were pretty proactive with responding to all of the reports. Remember, we had a lot of reports from you guys, as well as us as the streamers and the content creators regarding their experiences with the game. From feedback of what we liked and didn't like, and also bug reports, what was broken, and so on and so forth. So Hotfix 2 contained a lot of fixes that brought the game into a much better situation. So we had a lot of crash fixes, some visual changes, which a lot of people didn't like the way the game looked visually with regards to the colors and saturation and stuff like that. So that was changed and definitely improved. There was also a fix for the zip zappinator bug that was causing game crashes when that unit was used specifically. And we also had the in-game UI update, so instead of it all being at the top, it was moved down for the non-streamer version, which a lot of people fed back that they appreciated that change. So the devs were definitely listening and definitely updating the game based on what people thought were the biggest issues. And also a fix in there was an issue with Xbox where the graphics defaulted to the worst possible setting. So the 21st of December sounded like it was going to be a good day for everyone. And as always, the PC players, the update rolled out on Steam without problem. But the Xbox players, it was a very different story. Now, unfortunately, there was a delay with getting that hotfix out. Now, one of the criticisms I've heard from a lot of people is that BetaDwarf made a bad decision with regards to releasing this game just before the holidays, because they had a limited amount of time to address things before sort of everything just shut down, whether that's themselves or external people like Microsoft for the holiday period. I can agree with that, but also we don't know what deadlines they have and stuff like that, so it might have just been a necessary evil. But anyway, so it seemed like there was a delay with Microsoft certifying the update, and it always takes longer for the Xbox to get the update because the certification process with Microsoft is a lot more involved than it is on Steam. Not that I know particularly too much about it. So we kind of got into this awkward situation where we had the hotfix rolled out on PC, but not on Xbox. So whilst both platforms could still play on their appropriate version, because the two platforms were on different versions, that meant there was no interaction between the platforms. Different versions cannot play together for obvious reasons. So that meant, firstly, no crossplay, so PC and Xbox players couldn't lobby up together. And also that meant that the queues were going to be completely separate for all of the game modes, which of course, splitting the queues means longer wait times. So that was definitely unfortunate. Now, where are we today? So it's the 5th of January today. Unfortunately, Xbox still doesn't have the patch. And from what the devs have said, at least publicly, It seems that it's not necessarily just an issue with Microsoft delaying the certification. There seems to be a problem with the certification, and that needs to be resolved. And from an update today from the devs on the MinionMasters Discord, they're hoping to get the Xbox version halfway through next week. So it seems like they've got some adjustments to make, and then they've got a certification process to go through, which they mentioned it was a 3-day certification process, which is substantially longer than what we've been experiencing in the past, I think, with hotfixes and stuff like that. So we're looking at the 10th of January to get the hotfix out. So us PC folks have been quite lucky with regard to this, and my heart goes out to the Xbox players who have not been able to get their hands on the updated version that definitely fixed a lot of the main issues with the game and made it a lot better. So that's the next step. Xbox is going to get the hotfix, and then both platforms will be on the same version, so crossplay can be re-enabled, and hopefully the queues will get better. You can play with your friends on different platforms and stuff. And then we can start moving towards the next step. Now, since the PC players have had the access to the new version for quite some time, they've been able to report a lot of issues. Now, historically, people have had wildly varying different experiences with MinionMasters. Even with the old version, you'd read about people crashing all the time, whereas I can stream for hours on end and have no crashes at all. So it was kind of strange in the past, and that's kind of continued a little bit with the new version. My experiences have been pretty good. I very rarely crash. Very rarely crash during a game. Most of the crashes I have are when I'm trying to come out of a replay or something that seems to generate a crash. So a lot of the issues that I've seen are things that I've read on the Discord, on the Steam forums, on Reddit, etc. So I'm kind of living vicariously through you guys and your experiences. And I'm trying to keep up to date on all of the problems so that I can, as always, try to act as a bit of a middleman between the community and the devs, trying to make sure that the most critical issues are raised, and we help people as much as possible. So I'm just going to go through some outstanding issues here that's things that I've seen that people have raised, or that most people have raised. This is by far, this is not a definitive list, but this is just sort of the overall most critical and most impactful issues. So if you're still, if your issue's not on here, don't worry, you've not been forgotten. So, game crashes, people are still reporting those. Hopefully with the Xbox patch going out, a lot of the Xbox game crashes will be resolved. But people are still reporting the crashes on PC. Sorry, I've been a bit sick, so I'm struggling to talk a little bit. One of the other things I've seen a lot of people report is that when they're interacting with the game in a match, trying to click on the cards with a mouse is a bit of a nightmare. Apparently it doesn't respond to clicks very reactively, which makes it very difficult to play quickly and reliably. I don't know if that affects Xbox as well, but the devs are definitely aware of that and definitely working on it. One thing I will say is just use your damn hotkeys. Hotkeys plus the mouse is always the best way to interact with the game. I know people have their various reasons for doing so, but if you're looking to take your gameplay to the next level, to be able to react as quickly as possible, keyboard and mouse. So there's also some gameplay bugs, some critical gameplay bugs, things like units becoming untargetable, and that seems to be Ruby involved with that, Ruby and death prediction. That's something the devs have fixed, but it's not come out in the next hotfix yet. So that's been fixed, but it's not fixed on live. I did put together a list of gameplay bugs to give to the devs, so they were aware of all of the issues, and really the gameplay bugs and the stability are why we can't really run tournaments at the moment. It's just not an appropriate environment, so hopefully a lot of those will get fixed soon. Chat has been added back into the game. Xbox, I don't know if Xbox has chat. I don't know if Xbox is... I don't know if the chat's going to be cross-platform. I don't know. But chat's been added back into the game, but it seems to be not really functioning very well, and it's very bare bones. So that's something that needs to be improved going forward. A lot of people, and this is kind of quietened down a little bit, but a lot of people originally at the start were complaining about having to go through all of their card promotions, and I can understand it was kind of boring and laborious, but I feel like it's just, you've got to do it. You've got to do it once. You've got to get it done. And I don't think the devs are going to... waste isn't the right word, but they're not going to use development resources to fix something that some people are going to use once. It's not as bad as people make out. You can get it done in 30 minutes. Right. Pinging has not been working in-game for some people. Don't know why. I've experienced that. There's also been a lot of issues with audio, so just bad audio or missing audio. Things like Veilstalker just have no audio. Some units have the wrong audio, so that's something that is definitely on the list of things to be fixed. We know a lot of people ended up with default usernames. Remember the new BetaDwarf account platform, when you sign into the game, you have to create your username for MinionMasters now. And a lot of people either mess that up by skipping across it and getting a default one, or somehow it bugged out and they just ended up with a default one. So people with default usernames need to be given the ability to rename. Devs are working on that. Spells that summon minions, there's a bit of a stutter. If you use Frost of a Flybow or something, you'll notice there's a stutter. There's also been an issue with the ragdolls, which causes corpses to not despawn. We have just a quick image here that I found on a Discord to give you an idea of this. I had this once in a solo game. I didn't really notice it until the end of the game, but in duos, especially in a long game, it can get kind of out of control, and as you would expect, your game starts lagging uncontrollably. So that's something that people are struggling with. Apparently, if you turn off ragdolls, it prevents that, if that's what you want to do. Right, next up. People have also reported more bot matches than usual. Not really sure why that's been happening. A lot of the things that I was hoping would just transfer across from the old version to the new version unchanged. It seems like everything has been changed. But the devs are looking into that. Remember, you shouldn't get bots above Master Elo. But apparently that's been changed back to how it was before, which it shouldn't be, which is no bots above Master Rank. So really, those are the biggest outstanding issues. But of course, lots of other issues as well. So that's where we are at the moment. We are awaiting the hotfix to come out for Xbox, hopefully next week, and then we'll look at where we are going forward. So the devs have said, as we just to recap, halfway through next week, 10th, is that halfway through next week maybe, for the Xbox hotfix. They've also said we're going to get a roadmap regarding the prologue, so that should give us an idea of their priorities, what they're looking to fix or add or change going forward. So that'll be good to see. If you've been in the MinionMasters community for a long time, back in the day we used to always have roadmaps, and at some point that just stopped and never came back. So hotfix 3 should be the next update, really. No idea when that's going to be or what that's going to contain. I'm trying to get the devs to confirm when the next season is, because if you look in the game, I'm just checking my messages here to see if I got a message, but I don't. If you look in the game, there's a couple of sort of contradicting dates for the next season. So I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be, so just kind of hold tight and watch out for that. But what can we do as a community? Well, we can keep playing, and we can keep reporting the issues. You know, the more the devs get with regards to the issues, then if they're known issues, then great. We'll keep reporting them, and where possible, provide replays, provide log files. And I'll put in the description under this video the location where you can find them, because they're not as easy to find as they were before. But yeah, keep providing those, whether on Steam, on Discord, Reddit, wherever. Ideally, Discord is probably the best way to interact with the devs and keep everything together there. But Steam's okay, but it's not so easy to attach files and stuff on Steam. So keep reporting the issues, and then hopefully that'll allow the devs to see what are the priorities and help them to see what the issues are and how to replicate them. Because sometimes people have these weird issues and they're not replicable, and that makes them very hard to fix. Like currently there's a bug where sometimes the fireball is invisible, but the devs haven't been able to, as far as I know, replicate it. And from what I heard, somebody had the bug, invisible fireball, looked in the replay, invisible fireball, restarted the game and then checked it again, fireball is visible. So like that inconsistency makes it very hard to understand what's causing it. Right, last thing, the plushie. Nyrvir the plushie is available. And will be available for another 5 days, 11 hours, 26 minutes and 45 seconds. But remember, it's a limited time only. Once it's gone, it's gone. We need, as a community, to sell or to buy 200 of these to get it fully funded. If it doesn't get funded, then everyone gets refunded and nobody gets their plushie. And I want my plushie. So if you haven't grabbed your Nyrvir plushie yet, make sure you do so. Again, I'll put a link in the description. $29.99. And I'm looking forward to getting hold of that, especially to sit alongside the original Mana Puff. I know a lot of people had the original Mana Puff plushie, and this is great to get alongside it. Okay, that might be it. But yeah, that's it. MinionMasters 2.0, past, present, and future. It's been rough. It got better, and fingers crossed it's going to get even better. Again, I appreciate the people on Xbox being patient. It's difficult to understand how frustrating it must be for you. The PC master race, don't hate me, have had a much better experience here. But fingers crossed, everyone will be on the new version, the latest version soon, and then we'll have a hotfix coming on after that to fix more and more things, and eventually the game can come back to the game that we loved. Currently, how do I feel about the game currently? I don't have a lot of problems with the bugs. The gameplay bugs are the worst for me. Because, you know, for me, gameplay is everything. Everything else around that, the UI, it's all just kind of just noise. You know, the gameplay is really important for me, and it doesn't quite feel the same. The old MinionMasters felt like just putting on a comfortable jumper, a comfortable cardigan. I don't know. This one doesn't feel quite the same. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It just feels a little bit different. Maybe it's just getting used to it. But I'm looking forward to them fixing a lot of the issues, and then we can see where we can go in the future. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully this gave you a good insight into what's going on. Let me know in the comments, what have your experiences been with 2.0 so far? What are your biggest issues? What do you want to see fixed or changed? Always happy to discuss that with you. Anyway, I'm bad as a fish, and you're awesome. See you again soon.